Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are listening to today's Life After Her podcast with yours truly, Nicole and Sweeney. Guys, we are on episode number 34 entitled Rayce. Yes, we are on episode number 34 entitled Rayce. We are almost towards the end of Life After Her. So make sure you guys keep tuning in every Wednesday. Now, before I go into today's episode, I have to share with you my Auntie Chronicles. So as you guys know, I'm an auntie of 5 nieces and 2 nephews. And they are like my little babies. They're like my kids. And so my third oldest niece actually says some of the sweetest things to me yesterday. I haven't seen her or spent time with her in a while because things have been busy. School has started and we just haven't really spent time together over these past month or so. So yesterday I'm at my sister's house and I'm with 2 of my nieces and they are just so excited to see me. I'm excited to see them and to spend time with them. But check this out. My third niece, as I mentioned, she said one of the sweetest things someone could have ever said to me. She said, Auntie Cole, if you had a twin, I will always want to spend time with you. And when she said that, it made my heart smile because it, to me, showed that she always loved being around me. She loved hanging out with her auntie. And even if I had a twin, I would technically still be her favorite. And so it brought me so much joy to hear her say that. And out of the mouths of babes, right? Let that be a measure for the people you hang around. Let that be the barometer of the people you let and allow into your life. They should treat you as if you ever had a twin, that they will always choose you. So shout out to my third niece who shared that with me and showed me that I meant so much to her and she definitely means so much to me. And it just, again, it made my heart smile. So I had to share that with you guys, my Auntie Chronicles. And I want to shout out Lahong, province of Cebu, which is in Philippines. So if you are from the Philippines listening to the Life After Her podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of my listeners and I just am so grateful that you guys choose my podcast to listen to. Now, let's get into today's episode, again entitled Rayce, episode number 34. Now, Journee continued on with her life. She continued going to college and she would take the bus every day going to Hopeville Community College. But one day she actually met this young man. His name was Rayce. Rayce was tall. Rayce was very handsome. He had a very nice voice. He was very cool, down to earth brother, nice guy. And so Journee and Rayce had met when Journee was on her way home on the bus. And Rayce, not only was he handsome, but he favored a little bit of Khalil Kane. So they met on the bus and they immediately had a positive exchange. So they kind of locked eyes with each other. And then Rayce had come over to where Journee was sitting at, and they just began having a small conversation. So Journee had found out that Rayce was actually a manager at a bank. So he was a banker. Now, before Rayce stop had come up for him to get off the bus, he asked for Journee's number, y'all. Have y'all ever had a nice guy approach you that was cool, nice looking, really funny, and he asked for your number, right? Isn't that exciting? So they exchanged numbers, and before Rayce had come to his stop, he said that he would hit Journee up. So he got off the bus, and on the inside, Journee was just really, really excited. So she remained on the bus for a couple of more stops until she finally got to her stop. And then she rung the bell for the bus driver to stop, and she got off the bus because it was her stop to go home. So Journee got in the house. She took off her book bag, her jacket, and she begins preparing for her routine for coming home from school. So she got in the shower, she made herself something to eat, and she started doing her schoolwork. Journee was going through so many emotions during that time. On the one hand, she was so excited about meeting Rayce, this cool brother who was handsome and seemed to be a lot of fun. And then on the other hand, she was just dealing with her feelings about the things that went on between her and Khase, and she couldn't discard those feelings. So Journee was going through some emotions during that time. So again, Journee continued on with her life. And sometimes we just have to do that. Sometimes we just have to continue on with our lives. No matter how deep the pain is, no matter how much it hurts, sometimes we just have to continue on with life. So a few hours into Journee doing her homework and studying and trying to be the best student she can be, she gets a phone call. She picks up the phone, and on the other end of the phone, it's this really deep and masculine voice that she hears. Yes, it was, yes, y'all, Rayce calling Journee. So Journee picks up the phone, excited, but she's playing it cool. She picks up the phone and they are chatting, and Rayce ends up wanting to hang out with Journee for a couple of minutes because they made a nice connection while they were on the bus. So he asked her, could he stop by just to see her for a couple of minutes and to hang out? So what did Journee do? She obliged and said, sure, you can stop by. This is where I live. I'll see you in a bit. So they hung up. Journee hurries up and gets dressed. She throws on some comfortable attire. She grabs her keys, her cell phone, and she puts on lip gloss. Journee loved lip gloss. So she goes downstairs, and Rayce is standing outside of his car, and they greet each other with a hug and a positive exchange. And their vibe was an instant connection. It was positive vibes and just a good, connection that they had. So Journee and Rayce began talking to one another, and they're joking, they're having a good time, they're getting to know one another just by asking questions, and they're just, having a really good time with one another and learning one another. So they're outside talking for a couple of minutes, and Rayce and Khase walks up, and they see Journee and Rayce talking to each other outside. So Gracie and Khase, they go upstairs, and Journee and Rayce continue talking with one another. Again, they're having a good time, they're laughing, they're teasing each other. They just have a good vibe with one another. So eventually Journee goes upstairs to finish her homework. She says her goodbyes to Rayce, and they hug each other, and she goes upstairs. As soon as Journee walks in the house, Khase is standing right there. Not only is he standing right there, as soon as she walks in the door, he says the unthinkable to Journee. Now, I am not going to share with you guys what he said. You have to go and purchase a copy of my book, Life After Her Sisters Tell, so that you can find out what Khase said to Journee. It was unimaginable and unthinkable, like the audacity for him to say what he said to Journee. So I am going to end on that note. And in true fashion, I want to leave you with today's episode affirmation. And today's episode affirmation is, you only deserve to be around people that are positive to you. Let me repeat that again. You only deserve to be around people that are positive to you. Anybody that is outside of being positive and loving and nurturing and caring and uplifting to you, they should not take up space in your life. If they are, ask God to reveal to you how they need to be removed from your life. And sometimes you don't even have to do anything. God will remove them from your lives with his own way and doing. So always remember, just like what my niece said about if I had a twin, she will always want to be around me. Just like the interaction between Rayce and Journee was positive, just like individuals that have come into your life or are in your life that speak positivity in you, that treat you in a positive way, right? Because sometimes we do have wishy-washy people in our lives that treat you one way and say that they love you and they care about you, but then sometimes they treat you as if they don't care or love you or care about you. So we have to make sure that we are constantly evaluating people that are in our lives and making sure that they are treating us in a positive way. And that is what God wants us to be surrounded around. Positivity. You have so much to offer to this world. You have so much to give, and you're a positive person yourself. So why wouldn't you want to be around individuals that are positive to you? So stay encouraged. Remember that you deserve to be around people that will treat you in a positive way. And always, always remember that God is proud of you. All right, guys. See you next week. Take care. Bye.